Hello class 7. Today we'll start chapter number 2. The name of the chapter is Force and Pressure, Motion. Now the first question arises, what do you mean by motion? Now there are many objects in our surroundings like house, tree, electric poles, buildings, schools. So all these objects are fixed at their places. So these objects are known as stationary objects. The objects which are fixed, which do not change their positions, those objects are called as stationary objects. Now many other objects like vehicles, human beings, animals, birds, these objects change their positions from time to time. So these objects are said to be in motion. So all those objects which change their position with time are known as movable objects, and their process is known as motion. The process when the position changes with time is known as motion. Suppose this is a moving car. At some instant it is at this position, but after some time it reaches this position. So that means it is in motion. Now some objects, they change their position very fast, so their motion is visible. Easily we can identify that they are in motion. While the other objects, they change their position very slowly. So it is very difficult to identify whether they are in motion or not. Like the dial of a wristwatch. There is minute hand, hours hand and the seconds hand. The second hand moves very quickly, so its motion is visible. But it is very difficult to notice the movement of the hours hand and minutes hand, because they are changing their position very slowly. But if you observe them very carefully, at one instant, at certain time, their position is this. So after some other time, a little later, the position will be changed. So from the change of position, you have guessed that this needle is also in motion. Now there are different types of motion. For example, translatory motion, circular motion, rotational motion, repetitive motion. So we will study about these kinds of motion and the examples. The first one is translatory motion. When a certain object covers equal distance in a certain time, then that motion is called as translatory motion. Like a car moving on a straight road. Equal distance it is covering in equal intervals of time. So this is called as translatory motion. And translatory motion is also two types, rectilinear motion and curvilinear motion. As the name suggests, rectilinear means in a straight line. When a body is moving in a straight line, that is called as rectilinear motion. And when the body is moving along the curve, that is called as curvilinear motion. The examples of translatory motion are car running on a straight road, a bullet fired from a gun, march past of a soldiers that you usually see during the Republic Day parade, when an apple is falling from a tree. So they all are traveling in rectilinear motion. Now second type is the curvilinear. Suppose you throw a stone in the air. So which path it will follow? A curved path. A javelin throw you must have seen during the sports time. A runner is running on a curved racing track. When you throw aeroplane, a paper aeroplane to each other. So how does it move? Along a curved path. So this type of motion is known as curvilinear motion. Now next is the circular motion. Whenever an object moves along a circular path, that is known as a circular motion. Like the motion of planets around the sun. How Earth is moving around the sun in a circular path. So that is called as circular motion. Similarly, moon is moving around the earth in a near about circular motion only. Next is the rotational motion. Whenever an object is spinning about an axis, about a fixed axis, like a top, spinning top, that is called as rotational motion. The motion of a fan, so it is called as rotational motion. There is a fixed axis, fixed line in the center about which the body moves, and that is called as rotational motion. Our earth also spins on its axis, and that is called as rotational motion. Now, there is a difference between circular motion and rotational motion. In circular motion, the object as a whole travels along the circular path. The whole object is moving along the circular path. But in rotational motion, the object spins around a fixed point. Suppose a ball is moving along a circular path. So this is called circular motion. But when it is spinning on this axis, moving on its axis, then that is called as rotational motion. Now repetitive motion. Whenever the motion repeats itself, that is called as repetitive motion. Now repetitive motion is also of two types, periodic motion as well as non-periodic motion. Now what is periodic motion? The motion which repeats itself after fixed intervals of time. That is known as periodic motion. Like rotation of the earth on its axis. After every 24 hours, the rotation is repeated. One rotation is completed in 24 hours, then next rotation and so on. So that is called as periodic motion. It takes place after every 24 hours. The time is fixed. Similarly, the revolution of earth around the sun, it takes after 1 year, the whole year, then again next year, one more revolution. So these types of motions are called periodic motion. Now, one more very important topic related to periodic motion, that is simple pendulum. Now, what do you mean by a simple pendulum? You must have seen pendulum clocks. It is oscillating, moving to and fro. So it is based on the principle of simple pendulum. Now what is a simple pendulum? If you take a thread or a string and you tie a small metal ball, which is called the bob. The metal ball is called the bob. And then you hang it to a rigid support. You tie it to a support. Then that is called a simple pendulum. Suppose you take a thread, you attach a metal ball to it and you then fix it on a support. Then if you displace it, it will start moving to and fro. That is called oscillating simple pendulum. Now, who discovered this principle of simple pendulum? Galileo. According to him, a simple pendulum completes every swing or every oscillation in exactly the same time. Swing means oscillation. In exactly the same time, provided its length is kept constant. That means every swing, if you take it to one side, then it will go to other side, then back to this position. So every swing will take the same time period. Now there are some terms related to simple pendulum. What do you mean by the length of the pendulum? Here I have shown the three positions of the simple pendulum. You take the pendulum to one side and then you release it. So it will start oscillating. Now what do you mean by the length of the pendulum? The length is the distance from the point of suspension to the center of the bob. Okay children, this is very important. The length is denoted by capital L and from the point S to the center of the bob is called the length of the pendulum. That means the total length of the thread plus the radius of this bob. That is called the length of the simple pendulum. Now what do you mean by oscillation? One complete to and fro motion of the pendulum is called as oscillation. That means, suppose this is the initial position, starting position of the pendulum. A is the starting position. Then it goes to B, then on the other side to C and back to A. That is called as one oscillation. One complete swing, starting from the position and then coming back to the same position. That is called as one oscillation. Suppose you are starting from this point C. It will go to A, then to B, then back to C. That is also called as one oscillation. Now amplitude. The maximum displacement of the bob from its initial position or mean position on either side, that is called as amplitude. For example, from A to C, this is the maximum displacement. After C, it will return back. So this AC, and similarly on this side AD, this is called the amplitude of the pendulum. And the amplitude is represented by small letter A. Now next is the frequency of oscillation. Now frequency, what do you mean by frequency? The number of oscillations made by the pendulum in 1 second is called as frequency. Suppose you take a pendulum and you displace it. It will start oscillating. Now in 1 second you will note down the time. How many swings it is taking. That is called as frequency. Suppose in 1 second it is swinging 20 times. 20 oscillation it is taking. So the frequency is 20 Hertz. Because what is the unit of frequency? Hertz. Frequency is represented by the letter F. And the unit is Hertz. Frequency is represented by F or N. And the unit of frequency is Hertz. Amplitude is represented by A. And the unit of amplitude is meter. Because it is distance only which we are measuring. Now next is the time period. The time taken by the pendulum to complete one oscillation, that is called as time period. Suppose for one oscillation 0.5 seconds it is taking. So what is the time period? 0.5 seconds. The time period is represented by the letter capital T and the SI unit of time period is second. Okay children? So three very important terms: amplitude, frequency, time period. The SI unit of amplitude is meter. The SI unit of frequency is Hertz. And the SI unit of time period is second. Amplitude is the maximum displacement of the bob from the mean position on either side. Frequency is the number of oscillations made in 1 second. And time period is the time taken for one complete oscillation. Now there is one very important formula relating the time period of the simple pendulum. It is given by T equals to 2 pi square root of L upon G. Now T is the time period of the simple pendulum, L is the length of the simple pendulum, G is the acceleration due to gravity. Now you know the earth exerts a force of gravity on every object. It pulls every object towards its center. So the motion, the changing velocity of the body with time is known as acceleration. So acceleration produced due to the force of gravity is known as the acceleration due to gravity, and its value is fixed. Now what is this pi? Pi is also constant and it is equals to 22.7 or 3.14. So the time period of the simple pendulum can be calculated by using this formula.